Now it's time to discuss about classes. Class is actually a very important concept in object-oriented programming, and we have seen in the first lesson in this chapter. Classes simply is a blueprint or a template which contains a method, variables, and properties for a particular kind of an object. Let's go ahead and see how can we apply this in C#. Previously, we have seen that we can go out of this method here, the main method, and start coding or do custom methods to do custom actions for us. Now we can even go outside of this braces or brackets in here, which is the class program. So all of the programs that we've been developing were inside a class called program that was created when we first created this project. So let's go ahead and try to create our own custom class. To create a class, simply we type the word class and type its name. I will call it person. Okay, and this is the opening and the closing brackets. Now we have a class. It's empty, it does not have anything inside of it, but we have a class. We can go ahead and start adding some variables. We can go ahead and tell that it has a string, for example, first name, and it has another string called last name, and it can have a date, time, and I will call it, for example, birth date, and it can have some kind of a country or address. And now we have some variables. I can come here now and tell it the person. Now, as you can see, this scene here, Teresa sees that we have a new class called person. I will call it, for example, person 1 and new person. And we will discuss about the new person parentheses in the upcoming lectures. Now we have a class called a person or an instance called per1. We can use now here is a build one. You can see it's of type person, but actually I cannot access any of these variables in here because they are hidden from me. To make them visible in other class, I can make it public. So once I type only public in the first name, now I can access it. Here is the first name. If I wanted to do for the date, I can come here and make it public. Now I have access to the first name and the birth date. But actually, this is not the best practice. This is exposing our variables to the outside classes or the outside world. So there is a better way to do this through properties. Properties actually can help us determine whether this variable needs to be set or get using the following code. So I can come here and tell it that I will create a new string. I'll call it, for example, first name in capitals here, and here is the body of the property, and I can come here to type the get word. This is how to get a value of a property or a variable inside of a property. Get, and again braces, and tell it that I would like to return the first name, the variable first name. And I can set it also. The user will be able, or the guy that will be using our class can also get the value. I can set it. First name, I'll set it to some kind of value that it will be passing to it. So this is how you create a property. Now if we come here, we will not be able to access it again, you see, because the keyword public. Because by default, you're not public. They are having a private modifier. So now I'm overriding the default settings and telling it's private, it's public. And now you can see I can access the first name. And can you see the difference between the icon here? Now let's make this public. This is the first name here is lower f, and here is capital F. So let's do this comparison quickly. Here is the variable itself. I made it public, now it's visible, and here is the property itself. And you see there's different icons between the variables and the properties. Now let's go and remove this bad practice from here. Now I can go ahead and even add more properties to this. I can go ahead and type public string last name. Again, I can come here and tell it get and return the variable last name, with small l, colon, and set the last name to some kind of value that we will pass to it. So now if we come here, we can access another property. As you can see, the last name and the first name. Let's do the last two variables here. Let's do a property for them, and actually I'll do a small trick here, which is snippet. We have seen snippet before when we were doing the for loop. Now there is a snippet for the properties. You just go ahead and type prop and 2 times on the tab button on your keyboard. Now the property is done for us. We just need to determine the type and the name. I'll go ahead and tell that it's date time, and its name will be purse date. And this is another way to do the get and set without going through all of this. Now let's go ahead and define another one. Prop, 2 taps on your keyboard, and I'll type it string, and I'll name it country. Now we have 4 properties for this. As you can see, here is the purse date, country, first name, last name. I can come here now and assign values to all of this. First name, for example, can be Ahmad, and come again, and I'll go to choose the last name, which is Wahi, and I can go again and type the country, for example. I can type Egypt. So this is how we can assign and creating properties. I can also come here and define another person. I can call it pair2. Now we have 2 instances of this class, new person, and I can also come and assign person2, person1. Now I'm assigning data for a different person, and I can tell it that the first name is Tim. And again, I can come in here and tell it that the last name, actually, let's make it David. I'm running out of names. And let's go ahead and define the country. Can be, for example, in Australia, for example. Now, here's E2 persons with different data. Now I can go ahead and actually console the right line this. I can go ahead console the right line the person1 dot first name. Can display it, and I'll display also the person2 first name. So it shall be Ahmad and Tim. Here, as you can see, now we have defined our own data structure using the amazing and powerful class keyword. Okay, I hope this was easy. See you in the next lectures.